actually really liked this air pad. It was comfortable, it kept me warm below freezing, and I was actually getting ready to recommend it for beginners. But one night completely changed my mind. If this would have happened on a multi-day trip, I would have been in some serious trouble. So I bought this pad as a part of my beginner gear testing series. I wanted to find out what's actually worth it for someone who's just getting started. And honestly, at first, this thing really impressed me. It's thick, it's comfortable, and even though I was a little skeptical about the R value that it had, I took it out on a couple cold trips that I was doing and I actually stayed warm. So I thought, okay, this might actually be a really good budget option. Then I got out on my last trip. It was a cold night, and Moose was out there with me. I did bring him an extra quilt, but I forgot to bring his little foam pad that I bring him on cold nights. And around the middle of the night, he started getting cold. So he ended up climbing on my pad with me. And if you've ever tried to share a backpacking pad with a dog, you know how this is gonna go. Now don't get me wrong, I was careful. I was making sure to watch after his claws, because I didn't want him to puncture the pad. And everything seemed to be fine, until early in the morning. At some point throughout the night, I rolled over, and I had a battery bank in my quilt that I was trying to keep warm. And when I rolled, I must have put pressure between that and the actual air pad, because all of a sudden, I heard a huge pop, and I was laying on the ground. The pad wasn't just leaking. It had a 6-inch gash in it. Not a hole, not something that I could probably easily patch. This thing was just done. And in that moment, I'm thinking, okay, this is bad. But okay, this also might have been a little bit my fault. Because to be fair, this wasn't just the pad failing on its own. There was pressure, there was a hard object. And yeah, I contributed to that. So I didn't walk away from that trip thinking, I'll never buy this brand again. But what changed my mind was what happened next. So I reached out to the company. And yeah, I was a little outside of the Amazon return window. But I figured, well, maybe there's a warranty. Maybe they can repair it. Or maybe even I can pay to fix it. Just something. But the answer that I got back was basically no warranty, no repair option, nothing. They didn't even give me an option to pay to have it fixed. And that's when it hit me. When you're buying backpacking gear, you're not just buying a product, you're buying the company behind it. Because I've had the exact opposite experience in the past. My go-to air pad is the NEMO Tensor. And yeah, it costs about twice as much as this pad. But once when I was out on the Colorado Trail, I had a leak that I couldn't find. When I got home, I tried everything. Soapy water, submerging it, and I even did it multiple times. But I still was having a hard time finding the leak. So I reached out to NEMO. And they didn't tell me that I needed to take some more time to troubleshoot more. They didn't even ask me to send it in. They didn't charge me anything. They just said, take a Sharpie, cross out the model number, and write this on there. And then they sent me a brand new model. No questions asked. And that right there is why this matters so much for beginners. Because when you're out on the trail, your sleep system isn't optional. If your pad fails, you're cold, you're uncomfortable, and you're not sleeping. And that's when trips go from fun to miserable, or even dangerous. This is why I will always tell beginners, if there's one place to spend a little bit more money, it's on your air pad. I've used, I don't even know, 6 or 7 air pads over the last decade. I've had cheap ones, I've got expensive ones. And this is one of the biggest differences that I've seen. Not just comfort, not just warmth, but actual support when something goes wrong. So would I say that this is a bad pad? No, because it was actually pretty comfortable. But would I recommend it to a beginner, knowing that there's no support behind it? No, I wouldn't. If you're just getting into backpacking, I put together a free beginner starter kit with the exact gear, planning checklists, and systems that I actually use. I'll make sure to link it in the description below. As always, guys, I hope this was useful to you, because the goal is not just to buy gear. It's to actually enjoy yourself out on the trail.